So instead of calling 911, the evidence is going to show Ms. Clearman called Anna, whose boyfriend or husband is a police officer. Ms. Trotter is going to come on the stand and she's going to explain that what she saw that evening was Ms. Clearman getting out the car, running over to the body, which would be a second time, not to save Mr. Clearman's life, not to administer CPR, not to apply pressure to a wound, but she's rummaging through Mr. Clearman's pockets.
What's going on there? What's going on? Are we pointing the finger at the shooting victim's widow? I'm trying to understand where exactly the defense is going with all this. And that was from the case you're watching on Court TV. Theodore Edgecomb is accused of shooting and killing Jason Clearman. There was sort of an argument, road rage thing. There is Jason Clearman with his wife, Evangelina. And what the defense attorney was just describing there was what Evangelina Clearman was doing after her husband's face was shot and he was killed. Like, I don't know, rummaging through his, like, I don't understand. Are they trying to say that she was up to no good? That she was doing something wrong after her husband just had his face blown off in front of her? How are you supposed to react in that moment? Anyway, who are you supposed to call? Let's take a listen to one of the witnesses who saw what happened that night. He testified today for the prosecution. Rodtrell Cameron is his name. He's currently an inmate, as you'll see.
When you see this woman, what's her demeanor like as she's on this phone call?
Calm.
Okay.
Very calm. I was surprised, honestly, because I was hysterical. I'm like, wow, I just saw this guy get his head blown off. She was calm.
Okay. I don't know. What are you supposed to do in that moment? I really don't know. And hopefully none of us ever will know what we would do in that moment, watching your spouse get their head blown off. Let's bring in Court TV legal correspondent Julie Janae, who's joining us live tonight from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where all this is taking place. This is an interesting part of this whole story in this case. The reaction of Evangelina Clearman to all of it. I don't exactly know what it means yet. But Julia, can you put some context in it? Where is the defense going with this? What are they trying to explain to this jury about the reactions of a woman who just watched her spouse's head get blown off?
Vinny, it's something that keeps coming up through these witnesses and the questions that they have to answer. We don't know if it's a red herring that the defense is just trying to distract the jury about what may be happening over here, or if there's something to it. We know from the opening statement that Biavri Lamari spent a lot of time talking about Evangelina Clearman and how she reacted, and that it wasn't a normal kind of reaction, how he described how she should act if her husband had been killed in front of her. And it's been reiterated through Rodtrell Cameron, who was on the stand, someone who was leaving a pizza parlor and saw all of this. And he is in jail clothes, as you see there, because he was such a material witness. The prosecution was actually worried he wouldn't show up, and because he was so important, they exercised their right to detain him until this testimony. But he was very straightforward. I think the defense may be trying to suggest that the knife that was in the victim's pocket, that somehow it was put there by the wife while she was perhaps going in and out of her husband's things. But something that was cleared up today by the testimony of Cameron is that he did call 911, and Evangelina asked him, did you call 911? So that may explain why she didn't call 911. Here's a listen to him on the stand.
And Humboldt, Brady and Holston. Okay. Brady and Holston, he got shot in the head. He got shot in the head. Brady.
Pausing in 16 seconds. Do you recognize that voice?
Yes.
Who is that?
Myself.
And Cameron is someone who seemed very straightforward on the stand. He said some things that benefited the prosecution, like seeing the initial punch and then the shooting. But he also said things that seemed to benefit the defense by saying he saw Clearman get into a boxer stance and that the car seemed to drive up, or this SUV that Evangelina was driving seemed to go up onto the area where Edgecomb was trying to get away.
There was another witness today who called 911. What did we find out from this witness?
This was a witness who was across the street, Jeffrey Parr. He was on a smoke break. He's a bartender at a restaurant that's nearby, and he could see all of this, not the punch, but he saw the car turn down North Holton and then Clearman get out of the car and the subsequent shooting. But how Clearman got out the car is really important and actually became something where he testified one way, and then after the defense showed him more information, he testified a different way. Take a listen.
The passenger from the vehicle, what does he do?
Walks towards the bicyclist.
Okay. He walks.
Well, he had a stride in his walk. It was not a jog or a run.
It wasn't a jog, it wasn't a run, you thought it was a walk.
Yes.
But you said it had a stride in it? So it was like a purposeful walk. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
And if we could stop right there, please. Mr. Parr, how would you describe Mr. Clearman's actions?
That's running. That's not what I recall.
Okay.
Say that again.
That's running. That's not what I recall.
If you didn't hear it, that's the cross-examination there at the end. The defense attorney asked him to look at the video, and he said, actually, that's running. That's not what I recall, but I do see it now that it is running. So a huge moment for the defense to get this eyewitness to change his testimony in front of them now that he's confronted with the video of what happened.
That is a rare moment, extremely rare moment. Could be a very important fact for this jury. Julie Janae in Milwaukee tonight, thank you so much. Let's bring back in the think tank. Renee Hill, Carmen Rowe, Molly Palmer, all with us tonight. Carmen, what on earth, like what is the defense doing here? Like what is the relevance? This woman, widow, watches her spouse's head get blown off, and all of a sudden she's not acting appropriately? Like, what are they saying? Like, she did it? Or she's trying to frame the bicycle rider guy? Like, what? Like, she's looking ahead and saying, oh my goodness, you know what? When this thing goes to trial in a couple of years, he's probably going to claim self-defense. So I better take the knife and fold it up and put it in his pocket. Like, all of this is absurd to me. What does it have to do with anything here?
Vinny, it has to do with reasonable doubt. And you say that it's crazy thinking, but I'm kind of buying into this speculation about what these people were doing, whether they're victims or whether they're the aggressors in this case. And that's really what the narrative is, right?
Carmen, wait. But this is the moment after his head has been blown off.
Mm-hmm. So
the love of her life is dead on the ground.
I understand. But I also think that the defense is doing a great job of saying, but she has a guilty conscience. They were doing something wrong. She's freaking out, certainly, about the fact that he's been shot. She doesn't know, or does she know, that he's dead, but she knows that they may be in a world of trouble. She doesn't call 911. She calls a woman who's going to help her with some law enforcement information. Trouble? And she's taking things out of the pockets of the victim.
Molly Palmer, what is she in trouble for? What are the charges? What are the charges? Getting punched in the face and then getting your face blown off? Is that against the law all of a sudden? There was one punch thrown by the defendant. There was one gunshot or by the defendant. He's the one doing everything. What is she in trouble for? What is she worried about?
Well, we'll have to see when she takes the stand. I mean, she is such a key witness here. And I agree with Carmen. There's something strange going on, right? So this couple leaves the bar Then they chase this man on a bicycle and they're in a vehicle. And then she immediately after the shooting goes into the pockets to retrieve or hide something or put something there. It's all a little atypical. And
All
in a
right.
trial.
Okay, we'll
You know,
see.
these
We're going to
things
continue
matter.
following this one. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. All right.